Winter had fallen, and the cold was fierce. High upon the mountain, the giant stirred within his cave. He only ever awoke in the winter-time, when the snow began to fall and the air grew icy. He rubbed his clammy eyes and looked outside into the snow. He knew it was time for him to go about his evil ways, and that he would not rest again until he had caused misery and sadness throughout the land. He looked out from his cave, down the mountain to the town below. Snot flew from his nose as he gave a menacing laugh. Then, wiping the slobber from his grey cheeks, he stepped out into the blizzard and slowly made his way towards the glowing lights in the distance. Far down the mountain, the king's guards were watching from the castle tower. They stared out through the thick snow. They knew that winter was a dangerous time, and it was their sworn duty to keep the town safe. Suddenly they saw a large, dark shape coming towards them, and then they heard the long, deep laugh of the giant. Quickly they ran to tell their men, "Send for the archers! The giant is coming!" The brave archers swarmed out of the castle gates, lining up across the length of the castle wall. They wore magnificent cloaks of pure white, dotted with little blue gems. They stood brave and strong as the giant loomed in front of them. He looked down and roared with laughter. The slobber from his mouth landed all around like great steaming puddles of slime melting the snow. "How can such soft little men stop such a big, evil giant like me?" the giant roared. Silently the archers began to draw their arrows and bows. Slowly they took aim, high above the giant's head towards the sky. Still the giant laughed, dribbling, spluttering, and snorting. Then all at once the archers fired their arrows, which flew toward the heavens, pulling a huge white blanket behind them. The giant's laughter stopped as he froze in fear. He looked up in disbelief as the blue patterned cloth flew high over his head. It billowed all around him. Then as the arrows came down, it wrapped him tightly, head to toe. He struggled and wriggled, roaring and spitting, but the blanket was far too strong for him. He couldn't possibly escape. He tried to step forward, but his feet were bound in the folds of cloth, and he began to fall. Down he came with an almighty crash that shook the castle, and there he lay, silent and still, as the heavy snow began to cover him. A great cheer came from the townspeople who were watching from their houses. The children clapped and danced for their brave archers that had saved them from the disgusting giant. "3 cheers for the white archers!" they cried. They all sang long into the night, knowing that the town was safe for this winter. The end to 99.9% of cold and flu viruses. Kleenex Anti-Viral.